This is your English news broadcast here on ERi-TV, reporting to you live with your local and international news here from our headquarters at Asmara. I'm Zahra Badouri. Heads up your major headlines for this broadcast. Awards to outstanding students. Vocational training to visually impaired citizens, and more on your domestic. On your international, Russia attacks on Ukraine's Kyiv killed at least 3 government buildings also struck. And Boko Haram kills at least 60 in overnight attacks on Nigerian village. Welcome to your domestic in brief. The Qeyahti Award was presented to 23 outstanding students from Qeyahti subzone who scored a GPA of 3.0 and above in the national school leaving examination. The awardees are members of the 37th round of the national service. At the ceremony organized on 5th September, Mr. Qeyahti Embaba, head of the education office in the subzone, explained that the Qeyahti Award, which is presented annually to outstanding students, is contributed from the public and influent individuals in the subzone. He also noted that the number of awardees has been steadily increasing, reflecting the progress of the teaching-learning process and the competitiveness of the students. Mr. Bahalibbi Guish, director of Qeyahti Secondary School, said that the achievement so far registered will serve as a significant source of motivation for fellow students and called for the preservation of such initiative. Mr. Haptai Tasfazgi, administrator of the subzone, congratulated the students, their parents and the school community and urged the awardees to work harder for even greater success in their college education. The awardees, while expressing their appreciation of the recognition, pledged to work diligently in their higher education. The Qeyahti Award, which was launched during the 2022-2023 academic year, has so far been presented to 74 students. In related news, 72 outstanding students, including 35 females from Barka Secondary School in the central region, who scored between 3.5 and 4.0 GPA in the national school leaving examination, were recognized. These awardees are also members of the 37th round of the national service. Mr. Samara Gabrar-Luul, director of the school, stated that the award aimed to recognize outstanding students and inspired others to follow their example. He further noted that 46 of the awardees achieved a perfect 4.0 GPA, making this year's achievement especially remarkable. On your proceeding domestic, the National Association of the Visually Impaired of Eritrea has provided vocational training to 35 of its members. The training was conducted at the Abrahabata School for the Impaired. Mr. Isias Tasfu, coordinator of the program, said that the training covered basic computer application as well as sound and music editing. Noting that the government of Eritrea has been initiating various programs to support visually impaired citizens, Mr. Dawit Solomon, deputy chairman of the association, said that this year was a continuation of such initiative. Mr. Masfin Waldasalase, head of the administration and finance at the education office in the central region, called on the trainees to apply the skills they acquired to improve their livelihoods. The trainees, for their part, commanded the training opportunity and expressed readiness to put the knowledge they gained into practice for their benefit. Qeyahti Embaba Red Flowers Week, which began on 26 August in the city of Karan, concluded enthusiastically on 4th of September. And your final domestic. The concluding event was attended by Mr. Saleh Madin, chairman of the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students, along with government officials, army commanders, and invited guests. Mr. Shushai Hailab, chairman of the coordinating committee, said that the event demonstrated the strong participation of all subzones in the Ansaba region. A total of 120 students selected from across the subzone, also as well as 30 members of the march band and and choir of the National Union of Eritrean Youth and Students branch took part in the program. Mr. Shishai went on to say that the week made a significant contribution in nurturing identity and nationalism, as well as in prompting culture, preserving tradition, and strengthening social values. He also commended all those who contributed to the successful implementation of the program. Mr. Saleh Ahmedin, for his part, said that the program was part of the union's broader effort to strengthen the Qeyahti Embaba organization. He called on all partners to continue their contribution for the realization of such initiatives. Up next, your global. Stay tuned for more. And on your news on the international line, at least 3 people have been killed, 18 wounded, and dozens of buildings set on fire in Kyiv, including the seat of the government, following a Russian drone and missile attacks in Ukraine's capital, according to officials and local news reports. Ukraine says Russia launched 805 drones and decoys and 13 missiles overnight into Sunday. It was the largest such attack since the full-scale invasion. ERi-TV, a spokesperson for Ukraine's Air Force, confirmed to the Associated Press news agency. Ukrainian Prime Minister Yulia Saverdenko later confirmed damages to the government building, saying it was the first incident of its kind with the roof and upper floors hit. However, rescuers are extinguishing the fire, she said, sharing a photo of the helicopter dozing the building and images of the badly damaged interior. Russia has continued long-range drone and missile attacks and strikes on Ukraine for months, targeting military-related facilities and the defense industrial base. It has said the attacks are retaliation for Kyiv's strike deep into Russia that often damaged residential areas and crucial infrastructure. Russia, however, maintains that it never targets civilians. On your final report, the jihadist group Boko Haram has killed more than 60 people in an overnight attack in Nigeria's northern east Borno state. Local officials, here are the details. On Friday night, militants struck the village of Darul Jamal, home to a military base on Nigerian-Cameroon border, killing at least 5 soldiers. The Nigerian Air Force said it killed 30 militants in strikes after receiving reports of the raid on the village, where residents had recently returned following years of displacement. More than 20 houses and 10 buses were destroyed in Darul Jamal, while at least 13 drivers and laborers who had been working on reconstruction efforts in the town were killed as well. Nigerian Air Force spokesperson Ejidomi said surveillances revealed militants fleeing northwards from the town towards nearby bushes on Friday night. The military, however, has intensified operation in northeastern Nigeria this year following persistent targeted attacks on its formation and installations. In April, Governor Zulum warned that the Boko Haram was making a comeback after its fighters staged a series of attacks and seized control on some parts of the state. Borno has been a center of a 15-year insurgency by the military group, which has forced more than 2 million people to flee their homes and killed more than 40,000. At the height of its powers in 2015, Boko Haram controlled huge areas in Borno state before being beaten back. The fighters against the militants became even more challenging after neighboring Niger withdrew its troops from a regional force set up to tackle the jihadist group. Boko Haram gained international notoriety in April 2014 when it kidnapped at least 208 students in Chibok, also in Borno state. A recap of your domestic news and international up next. Awards to outstanding students in the school leaving examinations, 37 round. Vocational training and visually impaired citizens, and more on domestic. Russia attacks on Ukraine, Kyiv, kills at least 3 and destroys government buildings. Boko Haram kills at least 16 overnight attack on Nigerian village. From me here on ERi-TV and the broadcasting team here on ERi-TV, thanks for watching. That is all for now. Bye-bye.